G2 return the favor, this time on Mirage. The Ninjas thought they had them in 2, but the French ran at them and popped their heads. That's what we're here to break down, as we do see G2 take us all the way to Inferno. It's our first series of our third day here for IEM Katowice 2018, and I'm joined by Janko and indeed Adam. Gents, this is where I really, sometimes we have these awesome opportunities where you can bring up a replay and we can talk about the hard work, dedication, the smokes, the molotovs, the flashes, the way in which they maneuvered through the map. I have to ask you here, I just watched potentially about 10 or so rounds of G2 saying a letter and then running at it. How do you analyze that one, Janko?
I do have a replay.
You do?
No.
Oh, I was like, yeah, Alex, here we can see they charged towards B.
Yeah, I think it was obvious that G2 had a specific mindset coming into this second map, right? They just wanted to bring the game to NiP, and even though they started on the CT side, they were actually the aggressors, right? Constantly fighting for mid, having those top mid pushes, right? Apex with some flanks, but even just, you see sometimes teams playing, for example, Retake, Kone, like even if they had one guy anchoring the side G2, that guy was still actively like going for fights. Yeah. They just wanted to fight every chance they get with NiP, and it brought them a lot of success.
Yeah, as did Apex, of course, the cheeky 1v3 as well. We got to see that one. Adam, what kind of brand of Counter-Strike, if you had to give the name to this kind of Counter-Strike that G2 have just brought both on the CT and T side, what name would you give it?
T side, matchmaking.
Okay.
With Russians included. No, but yeah, it was a bit of a lot. Like, they won the pistol, both pistols should be mentioned. Yeah. And they were really close of losing the Force buy, where Forest had two really good Deagle kills on B. But then NiP, they kind of felt like, we have to Force buy, and actually won that buy. But from that on, like, G2, yeah, as I said, they didn't do anything spectacular on their T side, right? But they had some good rounds on CT. I think they played, like, pretty default. They know how to play the setups, but you can see that they don't have maybe too many strats, or at least they didn't use any strats on the T side. But no need. I think that they played well, and I think that both pistol wins was really big for them. They won none of them on cash, and it was 16-14. So I think they will feel pretty confident coming into Inferno, where maybe pistol rounds will matter the most for G2.
Yeah, I think NiP through the course of this break are going to be giving Dennis a poke like, hey man, one of those rounds, please give us one of them. Get the USP out. Anyway, talking of the players and their mindsets between maps, we do have got Stunner on the floor. He's close proximity with them. We'll see if he's picked up any intel. Let's check in with Trace.
All right, North versus Heroic has ended. That's right, North has come out the victors. A quick 2-0 on their end. And you can hear them getting loud down here in the arena. It's kind of a cool feeling to see teams yelling at each other in real time. I'd have to say it's one of my favorite parts about CSGO. And with that being said, Shock's coming alive here in the second map on Mirage with these Ninjas Pajamas. Faltering a little bit, but there's still one more map in this series. Let's take a look at these poll results, because we asked you earlier who you thought was going to win, and it's looking like a 47% there for NiP, with G2 given a slight advantage. Now, with that being said, I'm going to encourage you to get involved at home on your favorite social medias using hashtag IEM. Now, we're going to be heading into Inferno. So who do you got? Boys at the desk? Anybody?
Ooh, well, actually, there's a guy that's not at the desk. I can see a tweet coming in as well. Sponge says, Shox has been beasting it up on Mirage again. Did it yesterday on the T side, and today with a lot of impact on the CT. Look, he's doing analysis from the sofa.
Guy just can't take a break.
Can't stop, can he? Stat padding with some eco kills.
Loves Counter-Strike, Chad does.
I do find this whole Eco Cobra stat padding conversation quite interesting. We find ourselves talking about it quite a bit, because it does seem like some players genuinely almost require that in order to build confidence. Is this something you've encountered as a player? There are some that kind of need it or desire it more than others?
Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah, some players are more like, if they have a really good start for a game, let's say they have a few pistol round kills and they will buy a Mach 10 and go and have 10-0 after 2-3 rounds, they will have a much bigger impact during the whole game. And that's something sometimes you can be annoyed by it a bit, that they're pushing too much, they're maybe unnecessary deaths by just running and dying to pistols, right? But some players, they're really they need it to play well. And I have played with a few of those players, and sometimes it's good. For me, it's more about the team, as a whole. Yeah. If he's going to perform a lot better by getting these eco frags, why not? I want to win the game, right? But yeah, eco frags are always going to be eco frags.
Is that something you've encountered in your days, Janko? Were you charging people down with UMPs back in your day?
No, I was always, a sensible guy.
Yeah.
Alex, I was playing with that pistol, saving up for an op. you know,
Well
all of
behaved.
that.
You were very well
letting
behaved.
other people go and chase down kills like Nico, he was pretty good at that.
Yeah, okay, yes. He's got to get his rating up so he can run away from your
Get
team.
picked up by mouse.
Yeah, exactly. Inferno is our third map, though, and as we do kind of continue to remind ourselves of how Mirage did play out, you will just find yourself realizing that G2 did indeed win a whole lot of spectacular aim duels and a whole lot of rounds that NiP really couldn't.
Could have been a closer game if they didn't lose that round at 9-4. NiP, if they got a 9-6 first half, and then in the second half, the 12-6 round, that's where G2 was on a force. If NiP wins that, then they have a comeback potentially, and you could see we were talking about them forcing G2 to end rounds late. They didn't do a good job of that, you know. G2 was able to get those entry kills and finish the game much easier than NiP did on Cash. But moving on to Inferno, that's going to be quite an interesting one because NiP looked super flat in their game versus North, right? Very, very timid. Some of the issues that have been, you know, bothering NiP for a very long time seemed to have been persistent in that opening game. Now, we've heard from Pita say that wasn't ourselves. We didn't do all the things we practiced in the week leading up to the event. So I think this can be potentially a great map because G2 is one of the best teams in the world on Inferno as well, and having that mid-round aggression, right? Like going for map information when there's a 50 seconds, a minute left on the clock, they can pop flash mid or have that top banana retake. So for NiP, they can't be passive and they have to be proactive themselves.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm always intrigued by when we talk about this mid-round aggression, how, well, you know, we praise G2 for doing it, but in my mind, I don't see it. Is it particularly complex to do? I mean, it doesn't seem like something particularly hard to execute, learn a pop flash, communicate with your teammates effectively. I mean, this is all...
I have no idea. Like, teams are just lazy. Right. I see so many times. I see on the CT side, players are just like holding their spots, and that's it. There's a certain setup. Maybe we have 2 pit, maybe we have 2 side, you know, but they're still just holding the angles, and there's no
pushback.
Yeah, pushback. But there's no initiative. That's the word I was looking for. Like on the CT side, that's why G2 they have a good mentality for it. MBK. You know, at times he used to lead the CT side. He says CT side is like a mini T side. You also have to, you know, fight for map control. If you concede all of it, then you're gonna have a very tough time winning the round.
What do you reckon, Adam?
Yeah, I feel the same. I mean, there should be a lot more like flashing for each other, both as T and CT. We can see, you know, HLTV brought in the new like HLTV like flashing stats,
assist,
like the players who flash the most, and it's very like little, or it's like a big gap I see. I feel at least that we don't see it enough in Pro CS, and I would like to see more of it, especially on CT. I mean, I just remember, for example, on Banana, it's maybe not as easy now, but when me and GetRight played Banana, usually before in the old Banana, Inferno, we used to pop flash for each other like all the time, just for information. We didn't have to like fully commit to a
just
peak,
like
right?
a little peak.
Yeah, you can pop flash out. You can just shoulder peek basically. Okay, so we can see, okay, no one is like really close Banana. They're not like on the way to execute B right now, which makes them, you know, then we communicate to our A players to say you should probably use your nades now because we see no one B, right?
Right.
So stuff like that, just across the map as CT on all maps is, I think we needed more.
And that's probably what leads a little bit to the randomness we have right now in the scene, is because, well, when you don't do stuff like that, it ends up on who wins the fights coming into the bomb site. And the Ts do have an advantage most of the time, right? Because they are using some of the utility probably moving in. But, you know, if your players have a good game, then you can hold those spots and get the kills potentially and win the game. But if they don't, then you lose it. While when you use utility, and like Adam just gave a perfect example for it, that just gives you an edge without really having to fight at all. Just, you know, using utility for map information gives you a positioning advantage in the round and makes it easier for you to close it out.
Yeah, we're going to have to see who does close it out as well. Thank you so much, gents, here at the desk. One map of Counter-Strike. These guys have played thousands of them, but this map keeps the tournament hopes alive or sends them packing. G2, we said they're good at group stages. Well, NiP have a chance to shatter that. Your IEM Oakland champions versus G2 with your casters, Moses and Pansy.
Thank you, Alex, and exactly that. One of these two teams will be going home from this, and this is the deciding map, Inferno, and what an interesting one to come into. How do we look at this? What do we look at as the strengths and weaknesses of both sides? It feels like we've seen two very different teams on two very different maps here already.
It seemed like Mirage was not that great of a pick for NiP, but look at this. Kenny's going to have first contact. He's the only one here. Gets a couple tags in, some damage done, but he does eventually fall. That means Body has to be passive. He has to live, try and gets a pick, and actually duel with him. But he's forced back, so the bomb will be planted, and this bomb site on pistol rounds for CT sides is notoriously difficult to retake, although Shox, MBK, and Apex are coming from flank.
And look at Gerard's either intuition or what it was. It kind of gave him an idea, but I mean, he's in a bit of a pickle here. The UI is making it look like Drake and number 2 has a rifle. Not the case. I can assure you that now. What we can say though is this is a shutdown from Rez and Dennis. The two put up great numbers, and they will get this one on the board for NiP. Good start for them, bounding back from that last map, considering it was a beatdown. G2 will be confident here coming into this.
That's the big thing for NiP. You're going to need more than just Get Right to have a good game, or more than just one player in general, whoever it may be. You need a team effort here. You didn't get it on Mirage. Now you go over to Inferno, a map that everyone on this team should be familiar with, obviously. That's a really nice pistol. It's so hard to retake. Even G2, even with getting Get Right on the flank instantly, there's just not great avenues back into that bomb site with just pistols without utility. You need those smokes, you need the Molotovs and flashbangs if you want to have a chance. Investment in the second round from everyone but Kenny. He'll have that AWP out early. At the moment, NiP spread across the map. Get Right over towards the A-bomb site, towards those hulls, watching for pushes, watching for flanks. The rest maintaining banana control. Apex is all alone. NBK has a flashbang. Here it comes. Completely blind. Are all three players. He's going to get a kill. He can build on that. He doesn't, but the element of danger was there.
The old 5-7 might, while running around, might have done something with that, but that's unnerving. Now you've lost out on 2 and you're down to 3 players. That's guns recovered. Well, 1 gun recovered, should I say. But I mean,
you have to go. I don't know why they're slowing down.
Yeah, they've lost all control of what's behind them now. Body's got the full image. Shocks can pretty sit on the rotate wherever they feel the hit coming from. They are taking their time here. It's Kenny and NBK kind of by the close side of the boxes. NBK falls off. High flash goes in. Does manage to catch one of them, but Dennis already through. Kenny, though, please. They do check on it. Drake, and thank the Lord he did. Otherwise, that could have been plant halted, time bought, and then Body and Shocks could have come through.
Kenny was making the play that could have won the round, essentially. Was holding the trigger. He wanted to get more than just one, more than just the planter to really swing that in their favor, and it doesn't end up happening. So NiP, they survive as scares. They lose control of the extremities of the map, but still have overwhelming firepower on taking that B bomb site. Shocks now pushing up with the Deagle. So many low players inside the site. Dennis and Draken both brought down, but not taken out.
Not pretty for NiP there. A couple of issues. Really nice flash on Banana, though, that set up Apex to kind of come running down with that 5-7. It worked out pretty nicely for him. You felt like that could have been like another headshot, and then you're in real trouble if you're an NiP.
Even if it's just a dink, even if it's not a kill and you do the damage, that makes it so much easier. Then maybe Kenny, if he gets the planter, that second kill comes out. That's much easier. Yeah, that was close a couple times, a couple different ways to being turned in G2's favor.
Well, we do see the B stack from G2. All players heading right down Banana. It's a nice feed. That nade's lovely. That ADR is just going to go whee. 3 kills we Get Right. I'm not sure if he's the one who you want to be boosted up, getting him feel good. Maybe he is, maybe it's not. But what we do know is it's big buy time for G2. We're going to have the AWP coming out. Bit of armor as well. It feels like it's always been a glass cannon for Kenny when their money's been,
Is that 100 damage nade for Kenny? I think so.
Must be.
Cool.
You okay?
Cool stuff. Kenny's got the up. Rez still with the MAC-10, and Kenny's gonna go for a peek, but he stops just short of the deep angle. Because NiP, that's probably smart. They've made good progress up all mid, and here's this boost. This is pretty clever. Get Right. Gonna be in some trouble. We'll see if he expects it. He blinds himself, which is not great. Is taken down by Shocks.
Might be 4. Shocks, if he's already feeling out the game, we're in for some fun.
That's a really good small stack to kind of help yourself get an advantage in a round where you don't have utility and you don't have a way to kind of set up some of that nice aggression. Just that little boost catches Get Right off guard.
You better be aware. You play the AWP yourself. You know that you can hold this angle. Kenny's actually walking into this as well. Falls off for the timing. Deep smoke comes in, but keep eyes on the bomb. It's on Dennis's back for now. They're being sold a bit of a kipper here for G2, and it's NBK who's going to have to keep this one together if they hit quite quick. If they get an inkling that there's a bit of a stack here or wherever it may be. Draken's done well to keep 2 players dedicated, but Apex kind of feeling it out. He's already heading over. You can see that on the mini-map right through CT right now, but NBK going to have to position for this one. Molotovs come in towards new box, and now Apex does go towards Road. Great flash comes in. Perfect timing for MBK. Forrest and Rez stand no longer. And it looks like NiP might be struggling, but no. Draken and Dennis somehow get it done. That's perfect from Kenny S, though. Stop the bomb plant. Make time. Another enemy for NiP in case they needed another.
Gonna be tough to win this, but kills would be great. Shock's just gonna rush in. Another tag through the coffins. The bomb does get planted. Again, NiP towards this B bomb site missed their timing. They had a lot of attention towards Rap site. Obviously, they can't know it, but when you wait that long, you know someone's gonna rotate back, and it happened to be a third player with the fourth for G2 already rotating over. That was a great counter flash from Apex, I believe that was, and great control from NBK, a double kill for him.
Maybe they heard Freiburg on the desk. They're like, all right, you want some more flashes on CT sides? we'll do it.
We can handle it.
Yeah, that was just really nice timing. For
I mean, it seemed like Mirage, you know, it was not a comfortable map for necessarily either team. We know G2 doesn't necessarily love it. They've been more willing to play it recently, but NiP didn't look like they kind of had great ideas of what to do, and maybe that's why we weren't seeing as many proactive like counter flashes from the defenses.
It's gonna be fun though. I think we've got a game on our hands here. Smoke comes in, but Apex is already ahead of it. Flash goes in. Look at this guy. He's so up for a fight here. Nade to follow, just bouncing that off the wall. But NiP are going to quicken the pace. They know they've lost control here, but Kenny S keeps control of it. For G2, that is what you want to be seeing from this man. Get Right does win out in the apartment, so there is additional threat, but it's only 2 alive. Draken's going to make those odds look a little bit better, but Draken looks confused. He looks a little bit, yeah, comms maybe not on point then. That was not the situation to be looking at apps for.
Yeah, he had no idea where Shox was for some confusing reason, but yes. You apply pressure towards Banana and you funnel them all towards Kenny. Great opening kill. That takes the danger out of the attack. Those first 2 players falling immediately, and it's so hard to recover into that round. So Kenny getting started earlier with the ult. He's got 3 kills. This is the final buy we'll see out of NiP. If they can't win this, they're going to be back onto just pistols. They'll have to save some. 3 AKs, 2 CZs. There's Kenny again, actually. He gets a leg shot, but the nade from Shox, the follow-up, a great sequence. Another round, NiP's going to lose the opening player. They have not had a great amount of success with their initial entries. All that's really left as well with that kill. There's no map control towards B. There's no banana controller present, so you've basically just got to hit this bomb site. That Molotov might help out, but a body still here is a dangerous element.
How are you going to get past him? Get Right first, jumps out, baits in for Dennis, and that's how you get past him. You unleash Dennis, apparently. 2 incredible kills back to back. And we'll be seeing Apex and MBK, you know, a million miles away here.
Yeah, that first jump from from Get Right confused the hell out of Body. He was shooting at him and wasn't ready for the follow-up. And then obviously once Body goes down, the player in the bomb site has no chance whatsoever. A really nice hit, really aggressive hit from NiP, and they clean the site out so quickly that G2 can't even get involved. Apex and MBK just have to give it up. That'll be a 4th from NiP. No finesse there.
Same time it is. I'm wondering what else NiP have to bring to the plate, though. Even though the scoreline will sit in their favor, it looks like G2 overall still look very strong here.
I mean, Kenny's going to be a problem throughout this half when he has the AWP, and NBK likely will drop one over to him. I would imagine that'll be the call. The other 2 players either on pistols or UMPs, but this was beautiful from Dennis, the peek out. Kenny wasn't ready for it. Yeah, he was so prepared. That's the same spot Kenny was in last round as well. Great shots from Dennis, creating so much for NiP. And yep, the op is in Kenny's hands again. Famas on Body. And Shox is going to have an M4. They've got great utility as well. Great amount of nades, all things considered.
Well, the fun factor is we get Draken as well on the AWP. Maybe he can make something happen here. He's not had the big flashy game that we know he can do, but Forrest is vying for some real attention on Banana. Gets it. MBK will reply a little bit, but it's it's that tentative spam back and forth. A couple of nades, a flash or 2, a bit of pre-fire. Nothing fully committed just yet for anyone. Get Right's got apps control building. Still Body and Shox over by the pit side of things. There's the Molotovs a little later in the round. I like it. Forcing Rez in a really awkward spot, actually. That was perfect. He spread and pushed him right into their eyesight. So, great way to start this one off.
And Rez actually considered putting up the Molotov with his own smoke, but he chose not to. Wanted to move forward into the gap, and I think he moved farther than he thought he was going to have to. That really opened him up. So, great use of Molotovs from G2 towards Banana to get an opening kill again. And Draken with this op has got to look to respond. Waiting for the smoke to clear. There is some pressure towards middle. Dennis and Get Right doing that. Or they don't have a lot of nades to play with. 2 smokes and a flashbang. That's all they've got. They're going to use 1 here, and Force is just going to peek anyways without it. They've got to, essentially it feels like they just have to rush banana at this point. All 4 players here, they have no presence today once again, and they're going to start missing the timing. Look at the rotation on the minimap. Even Kenny's coming over, even Shocks,
Lord.
and there's going to be 3 players here initially with a 4th arriving very quickly.
Timing on the flash goes in. Look at it, they're so blind, NiP. Just getting blindfolded at this point, but they still fight out so well. Drake going to claim 2, maybe a little over-ambitious, maybe overzealous from G2, feeling they had it all in the bag, and they don't. The Ninjas fight their way out of it. And Body stays alive, but that looked great for G2. The flashes were on point, they had isolated players, the rotations were good. And then it wasn't there.
It looked great until they actually had to fire the weapons, and then everyone misses their fights, everyone missing shots on blind players. Kenny trying to come through the smoke when all his teammates had died. That was an ugly, ugly defense once they actually needed it to be. That's, ooh. Makes me uncomfortable. It's going to be a 5th round for NiP, and G2 is now out of money. To make that round even more disastrous is the fact that they can't buy into the next one. So everything going well, the rotations were in. And you don't see that too often. I mean, NBK in the back corner not hitting his shots, Apex on top of Coffins not hitting his shots. And again, cannot stress this enough, all the NiP players were blind.
It's a big shot to hit there, to be fair, for Drake, and like, he came out really well after that flash,
Yeah.
but I mean, all 4 of them, you could see it, were completely and utterly blind.
That
So, I
should
mean,
yeah, that should
there was
have
like 2 or 3 seconds, maybe 2 seconds, where it was like, you get to have your way with them.
that should have been at least 2 kills for the initial defense though for G2. Like NBK and Apex should have at least both gotten 1, and even if they're traded off by Drake, and at that point, still a great opportunity to win.
Look what it's done to the money as well.
Yes, I mean, that's the thing. Like, the defense was so solid, and you still have to say G2 more often than not going to hit those shots and win that fight, so the defense is still good in a way, but it's put them in such a difficult position on the CT side. Once you get economically reset here on the CT side, it's so difficult to get it back into your favor. So we're going to have to see G2 really work some magic to kind of sustain later on in this half. Hopefully they don't have to wait for the full losing bonus to build up to do it. They'll have a bye in the next round.
Scoreline almost feels like it's deceiving me. You know, it's like NiP have looked a little ropey throughout this, but they're getting the rounds. I mean, this should be 6-2. Should. Body's still got a bit of a threat on board, and please, you win these, Dennis, every day of the week. Now MBK though, very low on HP. He was the first man who kind of got the contact. Smoke goes in. He's going to get a little bit of an angle on it. Kenny S finds Dennis. He's going to try and make something happen. Brilliant work from MBK. Costly for sure. But Body's always going to be the danger man. He's the one who's got the rifle.
It's just a FAMAS. There's not a great way back into this, especially because MBK can't take a whole lot of fights unless Body has some success. There he goes. And a 2-tap from Rez. 6th round for NiP. Yeah, I mean, the NiP rounds that they've won haven't necessarily looked the best. Not flashy, not brilliant, but they're getting the job done. Grinding into this game, and this time it might be a little bit easier. Kenny's not going to have an AWP. Well, they do have M4s. There's no kits. They've got a decent amount of utility, so there's some deficiencies for G2, but they should be able to fight in this round.
Flashy, not brilliant, but gets the job done. Sounds like me. I like it. You might as well just beat Twitch chat to it, you know what I mean? It's just,
I gotcha.
got to go ahead. And speaking of beating people to it, look at this aggression from G2. MBK straight down. He does find Draken first, so the 1-for-1 trade happens. And Apex looks like he's constantly wanting to get into fights. He is out there looking for some sort of scrap to go on. The nade to follow as well. That could do even more damage. Rez looking a little, wounded at this point. He's not going to like that one. Chips away a bit more, but he still stays alive. But look at the map control these guys have got. Shock's actually coming over to B as well here.
You really do love this aggression. So get right, spamming. I was hoping Body was playing on top of the railing, but he wasn't. Switched up his position, so those bullets was passed. Rez has a Molotov for Pit if they want to use it there. Got some utility, and Get Right is poised. This is a double pit setup for G2, and this must hold. They must do good. Kenny peeks into his own flashbang. Gives an opportunity. Another one's going to come out. Get Right. They see him there, and Dennis is forced away. They need to hit this soon. The bomb. Oh no, that is the bomb. Rez has fallen with it, so they're going to take over Pit anyway. Dennis not able to adjust, and Get Right can't get the kill either. Somehow Kenny's managed it and forced 1 versus 3, and they're all around him. More aggression from Apex to save the day.
absolute disaster for NiP. As soon as they just got hold of that bomb, they're like, all right, we can do this. We can take over Pit. They've got a good shot at it. Falls apart.
Yeah, the bomb. Oh, it's so heartbreaking.
But for me, again, though, as much as it is a mistake from NiP to a degree, Apex has been so good at just being a real nuisance on Banana so far.
Just in general, G2's controlled Banana really, really good, which is kind of upsetting that they have this kind of a deficit to climb out of, because that's usually, you know, step number one for having a decent CT side on Inferno. You have to be able to hold Banana. And they've done it a couple times with low utility. But every time they've gone aggressive there, they've kind of done it without being too punished.
Comes in. Lucky for Kenny has some body. Not that close, but both definitely there. For now, we see if we can get that pick. Get right. You know, which you're not going to come out of that one feeling too good. There's not much you can do. Two players watching both of the sides you're going to come from. Very unlikely unless that spam obviously pushes them out. You're going to get caught by this. Now in a 5v4, finally G2 have that early advantage, you know, not having to commit masses. But we've seen this B hit work out before for NiP, but it's been kind of weird. It's been, you know, they missed the shots. Yep. It's not the way you want to see these won, but this spot from Apex.
That's tricky, isn't it? There's a time limit on how he can do that. As soon as that smoke fades, he's going to have to move.
How much faith does he have in his teammates in these smokes right here?
That's great, isn't it?
Oh.
Tough part is there's no more presence over towards A. They have to wait out another smoke. So, again, the timing won't be with them. The clock is going to be running down. This has to be successful. Apex gives it up, now pushing back into the site. Here come the nades, the Molotovs. Counter flashes out for Apex, waiting for it. There it's thrown as that lined up. No one from NiP was blinded at all by it. NBK falls back into the flames. He's burning down to about half HP. Huge kill, and now he can't build upon it. Rez and Forrest open up this site, and Drake in with a second. Oh, again, they make it work somehow as time comes low. Spam through the coffin's not going to finish the kill. NiP look poised to get their 7th, and they have it.
Really well played. I actually thought that bomb defuse was about to be halted. That was you know, it looked like a shot to the back of the head then. Yeah. Apparently it doesn't matter. But this was so good from Drake. Quick intuition, kicking in, catching body out, swinging around, and helping out the team. But I mean, overall, we do have a technical pause coming in. Not tactical just yet. As you can see, Kenny currently has a disconnect. So that's going to be coming back in. So that'll be sorted out. But it does give us time to kind of discuss it, because we're seeing a really... the word volatile has been bandied around a lot, but this game actually feels...
Zeus.
Yeah, nice one. But I actually feel like this game is quite volatile. It feels like win conditions aren't always, you know, coming true for these teams. You know, why they're winning these rounds. It feels like a lot of the time it's individual play coming up well, and you know, really, really weird things kind of happening.
The holds this B bomb site for G2, they seem to be doing everything right until the actual bomb site is under attack. I mean, the fact they controlled Banana for so long was quite nice. The Molotovs, they delayed that very well till about 20 seconds. So, I mean, that's a pretty good hold, all things considered. If you're a B defense and you have enough utility to hold off the hit until that late in the round, then obviously you're going to be very happy with it and just not able to convert it into a win. It seems the entries for NiP are at least doing very well. We've seen Dennis do it a couple times. Draken with the AWP has been great. So these guys are delivering important, impactful kills at the correct moment. The tactical pause to follow the technical one. And G2, they were able to string the first 2 gun rounds together, and then were reset. And then they win one, and now they're reset again. Dire situation with their money.
Yeah. All said and done, scrappy as it may be, NiP sitting real nice right now. 7 rounds in the pocket. G2 looking a little kind of off since what we saw on Mirage, where they really took control of the game, looking very much large and in charge. Even though there's glimmers of hope coming out from people like Apex, you know, the rounds speak very, very highly here. Now Apex and NBK could be tested again here, but look at Shox. Feeling very brave with only, you know, that deagle in hand. There's not much more in a purchase for them beyond that. So, I mean, Get Right's timing could be fun here. Depends which way it goes, and he's going to enjoy that. At least 2 for him, but I mean, he loses out on the rifle, and that goes into Shox' hands. But you can't be expected to get the 3K every round, and the work towards B has been achieved.
Yep, Shox needs to just save this AK-47, bring it into the next one. Play for the money, but they need to figure things out soon. They need to get back to that Banana control, the control that was giving them opening kills. Kenny needs to get that ult back. That's got to be priority number 1. trying to see. I don't think he's going to be able to have it in the next round. I don't think anyone would be able to drop it over. Maybe Shocks, but that would limit what he can get behind the AK-47, but it might even be worth it at that point. Kenny's just such a different player with that AWP, and if you can start getting him aggressive over towards that A-bomb site, just finding you one kill, really dictating where NiP can go. But more importantly, much like Mirage, NiP is really sticking to one bomb site. They've had a couple good rounds over towards A, but more often than not, they're falling back into just a standard B hit, which it feels like G2 should be able to handle that.
You do kind of think that, right? You'd think so.
You'd think so.
Now, as Dennis saw that the rifle had been picked up and claimed, that would be relayed information. However, the bike can come through anyway. It's not bad at all. I mean, the worst problem is that MBK doesn't have an actual rifle, but he likes to play a little unorthodox. He has his quirks that it seems like he's more than happy to play with.
I think the crazy thing too is if you're G2 and you had someone studying kind of NiP's Inferno, you would have noticed that when North played him, it was aggression that really kind of tempered them. Like if you get back to that, because Apex has had a lot of success being aggressive on Banana. So there's a lot of things that point to if you apply pressure to this offense of NiP early on in these rounds, you can find results. 3 players over at B early for G2 just to establish control of that part of the map. And no one from NiP is there. They're all starting to work their way up mid. No up on Kenny, he's only got a FAMAS.
This is quick. Body and Kenny, you better be ready. Shocks is on the point where he can come around and spawn pretty fast. Dennis, look at that beautiful play towards the side. Kenny has no idea what just happened to him. Suddenly there's just Dennis in front, but there's Body. He waited so patiently, and that's a bomb. Another big blow gets thrown against NiP here, and that is excellent work from Body. Playing out from pit, he bided his time well, and then struck when the timing was right.
That should not be allowed to happen. The kill on Get Right, fine, but Force is already in pit, and Body has to spin to get it. He doesn't even get tagged whatsoever. Missed shots from both these teams at different times. Yeah, this is weird. Forrest shooting at him basically close range. That's the bomb as well. Kind of makes you wonder how he managed to get his way into pit. And a great entry from Dennis is wasted. So huge individual hold from Body. There's still going to be a buy on the NiP side, but they needed that, G2. Back on the board with a 4th round, but they have to string them together. They have to win here again. That's been the challenge they've had throughout this half. Kenny has the op now, but Body's taken down. The hero of the previous round falls to Draken. And Shock's now on his way back. Kenny, for some time, was the only defender here. This is going to make Get Right in a lurking position so much more impactful. This is where we might see him pick up his aggressiveness. Although Shocks is quickly closing that gap. And now Kenny's on the hunt as well, pushing up lane. He wants to peek down towards mid. It's Forrest standing here, and actually it's Draken behind him. Really ready for that mid-round peak.
Bomb still waiting to go on this. Apex heading over to B. It's not looking good right now. Shocks very much alone. Very much about to be swarmed. And not getting very much out of it either. Dennis there to deliver the killing blow, but it is all 5 alive. Bomb plant coming in. NiP looking really strong now.
Right, and that's a little bit, I think, Apex cheating over towards the B bomb site because NiP has so many rounds has just fallen back into a B hit after some success, or even if they just lose some players, they've had so many late rounds where they just transition back to B, and Apex, as the B defender, has felt that a number of times. So perhaps getting lured away from a bomb site that's way more susceptible, that's way harder to hold with just one player. Now NiP on the hunt to take all these weapons away. G2, the money is not good behind this. They need these guns. But Dennis is ruthless. Still on the hunt. Good headshot from Apex. And he's going to be able to keep this weapon until maybe just now. Get Right takes it away.
Good timing. Good work.
I love that expression. Ooh, Peter giving Draken some props. That was
I thought you were getting excited about like the green tea, and I was like, do you want a cup? It was just, I was a little confused what you were happy about. But, maybe that whole managing expectations thing, they're letting them get a bit excited, After that early interview, we had we'll see, we're a team who's been together a week.
He's sandbagging us.
How dare coaches not tell us the full story?
Right.
Disgusting. 4-9. This could be double digits coming in for NiP here. It'd be a big statement after what happened on Mirage. feels like it does feel like a different team when you watch these guys when when it's going well and when it's going bad. The same with for G2. It's real high highs and low lows. As Get Right now expecting the push. I wonder if the timing will be right. Going to fall back towards the T-Apps. 3 players are going searching. It's not a bad shout either. You know that Get Right's going to be around here every single round.
Feels like he's been playing this position since the dawn of time. Certainly in CSGO. He's moving up now. There is a massive stack here. And perhaps because of that knowledge, they're just saying, all right, well, at some point, he's certainly going to come in these halls. Shots has actually gone for some investigation and tags Dennis from behind down to 11, and Get Right saves his buddy's life. Now going to fall away as Body and Kenny make their push. Again, back towards Banana, back towards the B bomb site for NiP. Apex rotating over, but still, again, it's just pistols, so you don't feel like there's a great chance they're going to be able to win this one.
No. Not sure what the difference maker would be. A good flash or two. There's nothing really left here. Body's got a smoke, but the players on the site have been kind of peeled away, and you're seeing a couple of issues here and there. Apex is your last man alive, and he doesn't even have the upgraded pistol, as much as it does sound a little unique. And there it is. NiP do make it to double digits, and it looks like their tournament life is being fought for tooth and nail here. But G2's is certainly not over. Again, the want to get to that stadium, the want to get to the arena is everything to these guys. They've never been out there, or at least, the likes of Kenny S never have, and they need that, they want that. And for now, they have to fight for this one. Already down on the half, it looks like we'll see if NiP can make it hurt, or maybe G2 can get that 5-10 half and it's not all over yet.
I wish I could recall what was the last round we saw Kenny with an AWP, but it hasn't been for some time. They have had some,
many years.
Yeah, they have had some economic issues. Ooh, the double. Body and Shocks, and Get Right wants nothing to do with that, especially because Kenny is here now pushing in towards the window room. Actually, he's giving up his position with that shot. Still somehow wins the fight. Get Right shot the AWP. I don't know if that absorbs that too much damage.
Look at Dennis and Rez.
Yeah, this is very weird, and NBK I don't think realizes it whatsoever. Great kill from Force. That's actually huge to allow this to come to fruition. Almost gets a second. And if NBK falls back to the B bomb site, he's going to be in for a nasty surprise.
You can see Shocks has considered this for a while, though. He already started to kind of linger towards this side. I think that NBK getting to this point, seeing nothing down the bottom of middle, the calls can be made. He's got to be so careful, though, coming back to this.
The timing on Shocks, though.
It literally is timing now. Perfect from him. Really good, quick read. It felt late, but I mean, considering everything, that's a nice little swing out at the end. But 10-5 on the half, still very much up for grabs either way this one goes.
Certainly is. The CT side has been a struggle for so many teams to get used to, but certainly NiP didn't always look pretty. They had great entries, they had some great executes at both of the bomb sites, and they've got themselves a big lead, 10-5. One of these teams is going home after the break.
Intel Extreme Masters.
Welcome back to the third map in this series between G2 and NiP. It's been a long match so far. We've seen a lot of different looks from these two teams. We've seen NiP looking strong, diligent. So far, this performance on this map has certainly looked up to that. But then we remind ourselves what happened on Mirage, G2, and especially the end of Cash really fought back. And I feel as though we might be in for one of those halves, or at least I hope we are.
Would be great to see another comeback out of G2. Obviously, it's going to start on the pistol round. Need to see more aggression, more confidence out of them. They started that half out well, but once they got into the money issues, they were forced into more passive play, and that does not lend to their strengths whatsoever, and you can see by the score. Dennis with a great game, 16-9. Get Right and Draken at 12. No one from G2 on double digits as well, fragging down all across the board for those guys. Shox has cooled down from that phenomenal Mirage performance. They're in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, they do need one player to kind of start finding that footing, but we know they can. You can never take it away from them. They can be such a good team, and we are seeing everything going well. They are readying up. Everything's good.
Had to restart some CS right before that got started, but yeah, everyone's happy now. Everyone's a little bit of banter in chat.
It's just banter. G2 on the T side, NiP now on the CT side, of course. Are you okay?
Yes. I had that bug where the minimap wouldn't pop up immediately. So, you know, give it some tough love, Lauren. Tough love always works. Well, four armor and a Deagle on NBK for this pistol round on the T side, and Forrest is going to go jumping for some information. There's nothing he saw that could have really been too useful. Shox is being a brave soul, taking control of Banana quietly all on his own. If he just shows himself and can live through this fight, it would likely force a second defender over towards the B bomb site. Yeah, Rez now. Not calling for help. So a stack over at A. NiP really not wanting to retake that bomb site. They do have Rez with full utility. Same with Dennis has a smoke.
Look, Rez is a independent man. He doesn't need no support. Draken gonna spot out one. Backs away with some good timing. Doesn't get caught by the mid players trying to pinch in. Get Right playing from that little cubby by CT Arch. This is getting a little interesting now. They're starting to push up and do a check on it. Surely they do. And the USP S without the silencer on it. Gets met by Kenny S with his Glock. So here we go. 4v4 and the wrap comes in. Rez has to stand his ground here. Up against players pouring in from both sides. Noah's really safe, so he tries to find a little bit of a safety angle. Tries to make some cover for himself, and the flash is brilliant. Shox goes down, and this is getting a little worrying. He's doing really well buying time. Dancing around as Drake now comes in. He's got 3 for himself. More than anything, just making it uncomfortable for G2, who got themselves to a good position, made something for themselves, and then got held up.
That's an excellent play from Rez, being pinched from 2 different sides, 2 different choke points of that B bomb site. Drops the smoke in the site. The flashbang obviously works out better than he could have ever imagined. But just that one kill is so big. Props as well to Drake and covering up Rap side, coming over after Get Right had fallen, able to grab 1 kill and whittle down the G2 forces, and that is a heartbreaking pistol round loss. G2 going to be hard-pressed to make a comeback happen in this round, or in this half now. Deep, deep hole for them to climb out of, and they're going to full save. Even without the plant, no investment. That's probably the smartest thing they can do. They need to get the guns out, and they need to have healthy buys as early as possible.
You really do. You know this is the one that does get a little scary. This map, there's no more kind of, don't worry guys, next map coming up. It is now. It is do or die time really for these guys. They've got the right mindset, and it's good to see. We criticize them when they don't have it, so, you know, it's nice to see them with the right approach in these sort of situations. And the SMGs, let's look on towards NiP as to how they try and get them into the game. We do have Get Right on 1, Rez, and Dennis all looking to be able to farm the money up, keep their economy building in the right direction. And it looks like a B hit's going to be coming through now for G2, maybe trying to get that bomb plant, overwhelm anyone on the site, just try and make something happen for themselves.
There's one more smoke he can drop, and he is going to use it right now. Yeah, they're going to come right through this, aren't they? Got Right. He's got a great angle for it. Spots him just as they come through. 2 quick kills. There's a beautiful pop flash. And the SMGs massacre everyone. Large amounts of bonus money coming through. G2's going for that 3rd round bye. Galil's being bought up on Apex and Kenny.
Okay, Shox got the AK. I'm looking at what Body and NBK are going to be going for Galil again. Yeah, that flash was real nice. Real nice. So yeah, lots of Galils. Not much utility, obviously, you know, bare bones. It's going to be pretty light. But I mean, I'm liking seeing Galil's coming out more, if I'm honest. I'm kind of enjoying that, and I'm liking this. Dennis going to take matters into his own hands and just charge down mid. Already going to probably put him on tilt, but look at Forest, he's followed up. Shock's there, gonna find two, but it's Rez coming right back in, and that SMG shouldn't be able to do this, but it is. The Galil looking to fight back with every bullet that it slowly pumps out, but you're down to a 2v1. Make it a 1v1! As Body almost did it, but what a scrappy round. NiP just turning the screws, making it hurt. G2, I'd be gutted if that's the round that NiP get to 13 on.
Absolutely. I mean, in G2, every time they thought they finally forced the aggression back, just another person comes flying around the corner ready to fight. That double kill at the end from Banana was huge down towards T-ramp. NiP 13-5, and that is the mental warfare. That is just, you know, we are not going to give you any space, any time to make this comeback happen. And NiP might just take it with this. Draken now feeling confident, peering out way wide with the AWP, almost lands the shot. Shoulder peek from Body to bait it out. They've invested in this. Not completely. It is kind of a half buy as they still have right around 1,000 left in the bank. 2 smokes and 4 Molotovs left on the NiP side. So some utility to delay things when the pressure starts coming from G2.
Smokes go in. That's the CTR smoke. Goes up. And the hit to follow. This is, you know, a relatively well-invested round utility-wise with the upgraded armor, with the upgraded pistols. Dennis, though, above the smoke, could be doing a lot here. Apex goes right on in. Now, that doesn't really get much done. Neither does the follow-up from Shox. The positions are good so far, but with Forest going down, maybe there's a bit of hope here. Dennis backs away from this. He actually gives up the bomb site. But look at the bomb. It's with Body right now in towards pit, so there's still room for that to have to cross as Rez isolates MBK and leaving the last 2 alive. I don't know what they can get done in this. That's good from Kenny, digging them out of a tricky situation, and I almost felt there was a follow-up to be had. And Body just can't deal with the remaining 2 players that were facing him. And bear in mind, Get Right was on the flank anyway.
Yeah, really cool by NiP. Just hit the pause button. Everyone get out of the bomb site. You've got 2 kills. You've got a big advantage. Let them have the pit. Let them have the site if they want it. Just wait for Get Right to get involved. And they ended up not even really needing him. Without that plan, it's going to hurt into the nades that G2 can bring forward, but they have to win now. NiP haven't really built up too much money, so still in a position where G2 can kind of whittle away and punish that if need be. I don't know if they have this comeback in them twice. Molotov out to slow Apex. He's going to go right through it.
That looks like frustration. It looks like annoyance.
Remember the last round they hit that A bomb site, Apex was the first one in, and he was taken down at least 3 seconds before anyone else was even in position to trade or follow up on it. Rez is going to check this. Yes, immediate kill on the Shox. Nothing going well for G2 now in a 3-on-5 in a must-win round. Hornets looking like this is, it's all over.
Yeah, put a fork in it.
Fat
This
lady
one looks
singing.
done. Yeah, she's getting real vocal. I mean, this is, you know, again, we talk about emotional players. It looks like it's quite tough to not get frustrated by this. But for now, G2 going to try and do what they can. I mean, at the moment, NiP are looking strong. Every position's working out. Every aggressive play is frustrating G2. And every kill is just happening for him. MBK now in the 1v5. No bomb in hand. And he knows that this is getting really, really tough. The uphill struggle turns into a mountain. When the flasher comes in, players surround. It's NiP getting towards that match point marker. Ever so important. The first 2 maps were close on the first. We saw that comeback happening, depending on Dennis, to just about keep NiP in that. Otherwise, there's going to be OT. And G2 looked good. That looked like that would have been a win for them in OT. Map 2 Mirage, it was a whitewash. G2 come out swinging. They look aggressive. They look fired up. And now, NiP looked like a different beast.
I mean, remember, the conversation after Mirage was, oh, you know, that first half of Cash, they just needed to warm up. They've looked phenomenal. They've looked like the better team for 3 halves in a row. This is going to be dangerous for NiP because G2 has arrived. And now they just actually have nothing. I almost thought Draken was going to hit that flick over onto the second player, but a 4-on-4. Shock's trying to get Banana control all on his own. He's down to about half HP, working up with this Galil. There's a delayed boost, a flashbang. He was watching for that. Still going to be looking for it. He can't see it quite yet. Get Right drops right on top of him. He somehow wins that, but surely Rez finishes this kill off. He's going to chase him down. Shock's not ready for it.
But Rez needs to score. There's nothing else here right now because Dennis and Forest looked like they wanted to maybe edge over that way, but they're going to just group up. Are they going to boost above that smoke? Looks like they are. Maybe have caught a glimpse just on the verge of that smoke. Maybe not. I don't know how much he's seen. KennyS was creeping his way up with that bomb to hand. MBK on the other side, and that smoke clears. It's a problem. But now it's down to 2. Rez and Forest up against Apex and KennyS. 50 seconds left. No bomb plant yet. Apex already sat up in the pit. He's comfortably safe. Bomb goes down. Kenny has done some marvelous things on this map from this spot with that gun. Never underestimate what he can achieve, but you've got such a big game ahead. Kenny's going looking for this. He wants to get it done now. He's swinging out into it. Rez might be completely unawares. Is the timing right? I think it is. Kenny going to find Rez and leave it in the hands of Forest on 12 HP? I don't see options here for him.
He's going to bail out. He could have chosen to stick around and try and take some of those guns away with the bomb blast, but wanted to save the weapon. I mentioned they didn't have great money built up, but it's not bad. They're still going to be able to buy Forest, though. Going to keep the AK-47. So a good win for G2. They need so much more. 9 more rounds in a row, and some of those fights were a bit scrappy. Another investment from NiP coming. This is the 3rd map in this series, this group stage game. The loser, which is looking at the moment like it's G2 barring an incredible comeback, will be sent home and eliminated from IEM Katowice, and the winner will be seen on the stage coming on the weekend. Beautiful, beautiful Katowice stage.
Something rather special about it. Both these teams know it. It's what they're fighting to have a chance to play towards, and Draken might be the one to start this off in this round, but the flash is good actually. Sent him back. Nice work. Good build from G2. But he's out there in the flames. He wants this done. He wants them dead. Nades to follow. G2 trying to brute force the issue here. Flash comes in, but he's not blind. He is eyes wide open to what he wants here, and it's to get a step on the stage. And now who else is up for the challenge? He's trying to fight KennyS on the timing on that. Brave play, but you've got to be careful.
Oh, the boost over in mid as well to catch people falling back. This could be great to add one more kill onto it. There's the spray from Dennis. Beautiful innovation from NiP. Another big lead in this round, and Apex has to equalize, sees the trajectory of the nade, finds that kill. He's cut off from his teammates, and he still wants to fight. He's still looking into the bomb site. Shock still outside of the B site. 3-on-4 looking more doable, especially as Rez rotates away from B. Shocks might be able to hear that if Rez continues to run. He's going to be caught at the wrong side of the map. Draken is here all alone. An AWP and an HE grenade, and that's it. Him versus 3.
It's time to show us what you're made of, Draken. You looked aggressive at the start, support's on the way, but we need you now. And Kenny, yes! Quick as lightning, takes him out. Rez tries to spray in, make up for what's just happened, but it's all done, it's dusted. Bomb's planted, and there's 3 alive here. Now, what do NiP have on this retake? They've got a player close by. Dennis not far off. Forest there. They seem tentative, though. They're looking for that one pick that kind of starts it off, that, you know, makes the house of cards fall, and it doesn't look like it is. It's standing for now. KennyS not getting the shot. Surprising, but great intuition from him, knowing what Rez would want to do. And now it's just Forest again. I don't see you making this happen, Forest. You want to make it costly for sure, but that's not bad. Keep Shocks close by. Good work from him, but that is enough. You can't make anything else happen from this. Kenny will be able to keep that up. And what a performance from Kenny then.
Yeah, that's a disgusting peek onto Draken. You almost feel bad. We were watching his POV. All you see is Kenny's elbow, and all of a sudden he's dead. That's going to be frustrating. Great knowledge of the angle, obviously, by Kenny, one of the best ops in the world. They need him to have a phenomenal game on notoriously one of the hardest sides in all of Counter-Strike to be an effective opper. 8 more rounds now that G2 need to claw back into this. Should be an easier time of it. I think they've forced NiP into a more cautious round. No armor invested, just the 1 AK on Forest and Deagle and CZ on the rest.
All right. Is it comeback time? We almost had this before. I kind of want to see it again. Look, I'm here for the long run at this point, you know what I mean? We're settled in, we're comfortable, unlike either of these teams, who are certainly probably not very comfortable. This is scary times for both of them. Shocks takes the angle while the flash comes in. Good timing, but the tag comes out. Rez gets knocked back, but that deeple's real good. Takes out Shocks. That's a 5v4 tag towards MBK. This is not the round you want to start making these issues begin. This is definitely not it. Body's keeping them in check over by A. They can't push out of that. MBK delivers on Rez and follows up. Good work from him to not let this round start, you know, getting worrying, spiraling away. It's Get Right and Dennis, the last 2 alive. Dennis is pretty far away from the action, and Get Right Gonna wait for the push out. Doesn't quite hit it on Apex, and that's the site there. It's bomb plant to boot. And now it's just Dennis.
That was such a beautiful setup from NiP, actually, if you think about it. Rez with the Deagle on Coffins, taking those Deagle shots, and then Forrest comes over to the B-bomb site, gets behind him, and they go for a double peek. Just 2 stunning shots from NBK. Fair play to him. A lot of pressure on that B-bomb site without actually committing to it, using the power and the range of the AK-47s to take that over eventually. 15-8 now. Yeah, the follow-up is great as well.
Spicy. I'm liking it. Why are you laughing?
Nothing. What's the Mortal Kombat thing? Toasty? That voice when you do like a sick uppercut, he goes, Toasty.
I have no idea.
All right.
Do I need to play some more games?
Maybe.
Like for a commentator, I really don't play
That's
that
a-
many games.
that's
like
a
I play
childhood
CS
game,
and
then.
PUBG. Yeah.
I haven't played Mortal Kombat in like 8 years.
We should all just get this line going on. All right, can someone sort that out? Cool. Anyway, that aside, we're seeing if the fatal blow can be struck towards G2. They're staying alive for now, though. It does feel like it's by a bit of a thread. It feels pretty hit and miss, but I mean, they're still in this. They're still at 8-15. They've brought back a good couple of rounds. NiP haven't been able to kind of shut them out of this. The money's been poor for NiP, of course. That has been a factor. It's the first time we've seen the double orb too. That's a big switch up. That's a big change. And the triple stack coming in kind of towards quad side almost. So you've got one towards pit, balcony area, which is going to be Forest. Not surprising to see him there, but you've got Draken as well. Oh, he's seen this. Oh, he's seen a whole lot. Good flash, though. Good timing. Does get taken down. Trades come in. It's Dennis. Back and forth we go. Look at the damage done towards body, though. Even though they're even trades, he's in a bad spot.
I think they wanted the wrap on the B-bomb site, but the bomb was dropped in alt mid. Get Right is now here in CT spawn to hold this off, and Rez, great kill onto Shox. He's brought down low, but this is desperate times. NBK has to be the one. He's got the only HP to get into a fight. Get Right coming through library, forced in the pit. And this is a critical battle, and NBK wins it. That's huge. Forrest now. He needs to survive and allow Rez to get over here. He cannot fall down. Rez has no HP. He spots that body. That's the bomb. 25 seconds left for NBK in a 1-on-2.
NBK, show us what you're made of. It's over. It's Forrest to put it down, and it's NiP staying alive here at IEM Katowice. G2, they fought so hard. The first 2 maps made it look like this was going to be that real slog, that real battle. The comeback could have happened. But no, the Ninjas shut it down straight away. As soon as it looked like it was building back, they kept control. And for what we said was keeping control of expectations, managing them, and you heard how quiet they were. This is a very good performance.
It's a great performance from from NiP, excuse me. G2 knocked out in groups. We're going to send it over to the desk.
Vodafone presents the post-match.
The Ninjas managed to best G2. The Samurai will not be seeing the Spodek. However, the Ninjas will be meeting North in a battle to get to that quarter-final. One more game for them as they do manage to keep their head above water. We have Yanko and Adam joining me to talk through this one just a little bit. And we go into Inferno, and the Ninjas find their form again. They couldn't seem to find a single way in on towards that second map, Mirage. They looked lost, little lost puppies. But this time the Swedes found form.
Yeah, it was actually almost an identical game like Cash was.
Yeah.
The only difference was NiP managed to close it out way earlier this time around. A similar scenario where they win both pistols, and in the first half, G2 stabilized early on, and then another like force by at the beginning of the first half completely destroys their economy, and after that they just can't win consecutive rounds and reestablish that.
Yeah, now Adam, what did you make of that when you saw the? 10T rounds was kind of not the game over, but I mean, judging by G2's CT success rate so far in this tournament, it did look like it was kind of the first nail in the coffin.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm happily suppressed about the NiP's T side.
Okay.
I didn't expect much. You know, they've had a week of boot camp, but not more than that, and they're playing a lot of maps. But I'm happy that they're working so together. Like, even though they're not doing anything specific, I saw them just walk up mid. They have mid control, right? They smoke long. They have mid control, and they're just basically walking and peeking, and they're doing it together though. So as long as when they see someone, they're instantly there to refrag if anything bad happens. But they're doing stuff together. As I said before, it seems like they're on the same page, and that's very, very good if you're an NiP fan.
Yeah, it's not easy playing NiP at the moment because they're a new team and you don't know how they're going to play. You don't have any data to really rely on when it comes to studying them, but something that you can do is just generally how you play against new teams. You maybe give them a bit of rope to hang themselves, so to speak. And for NiP in this game, it was, you can see like with Dennis in-game leading, it's similar to how he played in some of his previous teams and the style that they used to run, mostly based off of just like trading contact plays and so on. The thing is, like with how the economy went, they would win all those crucial rounds and they didn't have to show much more than just the explosion plays and like the trading.
Yeah, and Dennis, of course, new to this leadership role, new to the team, and that's why they are so unpredictable. We actually have him standing by with Stun as we get to hear from NiP's newest addition over on the player floor.
All right, I'm down here with the most recent addition to the Ninjas in Pajamas storyline saga. The team, whatever you want to call it, you guys just ripped them a new one over there on G2. Talk to me about the feeling that you're having now within this team.
Right now, I'm feeling very good, of course. I'm confident that we're going to pass the group stage, lower bracket. Yeah, that's about it.
That's about it. Well, you've got some young guns next to you as well, alongside some veterans. Talk to me about the mesh within the team. Obviously, you're sitting in the middle. You're calling the shots.
Yeah, it's kind of like less experience with more experience, so it's kind of a good mix. If they need some advice, it's there. So it's a very good mix of players.
So just for our boys at the desk, if you could give them a little bit of insight, and this is the last one I got for you, what happened on Mirage?
They fucking rush B, man.
You heard it. Fucking rush B.
Yeah.
Well, with that being said, you guys obviously move on now to play Heroic. North. You play North next. How do you feel going into that one?
I feel confident. We kind of screwed it up last time on Inferno, but we know what to expect now, and we should take this.
Well, only time will tell. Take it away, Alex.
I mean, you know what? You love it. Love to see it, sorry, because that's probably the most candid and honest way to summarize how Mirage did go. They certainly did rush B.
It also questions our job at times, because when he lays it out as direct and as simple, and here we are giving some further depth to what happened potentially, I guess someone has to fill in the air between commercials.
That's what we are. We're just a glorified ad break. But what I do ask of you now, Yanko, is to provide a bit more in-depth analysis. Now, I know you've selected a round. What is it that you want to kind of demonstrate here?
Yeah, so we were talking about that early round. On Cash, it was round 6. Here, it's round 7. And you can see that for NiP, they used all of their utility. Like, they have 3 AKs in an AWP. You can also see when it comes to the rotation that there's Kenny is coming with the AWP from CT. Apex is here, and MBK is also in the site. You can't see him at the moment, but he's holding like this sort of an angle from back of the site. So great round for G2. Apex throws a great pop flash. We can play out a bit of it now. Catches everyone completely blind, but he unfortunately whiffs the spray. And I think he should have maybe, I mean, can't blame him for sticking with the spray, trying to get the kill. You do wonder, though, did MBK get flashed by that? Because he's not fighting it at this moment, and Apex is pushing through the smoke. And then Draken gets the kill on MBK, and then Kenny peeks, misses his shot as well, and it just completely falls apart. They were 5v4, 3 players in the side, perfect pop flash, and they just can't connect with the kills, and that really kept NiP alive in that first half.
And that's, of course, when we start talking about team success and team's performance, sometimes we neglect to address the fact that some of those rounds that they're winning and some of the rounds that look so good from them is due to straight up opponent error, right, Adam?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just unavoidable.
Yeah, that is kind of where like CSGO is right now. You have FaZe, you have Nico. He could win any round basically, and here again you see Apex has been playing great recently.
Yeah.
Stuff like that happens, but it's obviously like individual skill that comes into play, especially when it's a game like this. You're playing a best of 3 to fight for your life in this tournament. If you want to win those games, you gotta hit your shots.
And obviously we're going to see NiP still in this tournament playing against North. Like today, G2 is eliminated, and G2 in Kiev losing in the playoffs to Mouse Sports, and then you have here them losing a best of 3 series to NiP. I mean, what's going on with this roster, right? The Shox is going, after this tournament, he's going to have that wrist surgery, and it's going to be a off period for him. But will he, when he comes back, will his teammates all be the same? Will they all still be there? That's another question mark for G2.
A very serious question, yeah, absolutely. Despite G2 and their up and down performance. It really is. When they look good, they truly do look unbeatable. It's the problem is that when does that actually happen?
Yeah, the thing is, I think this is the good roster for them. I don't think any roster changes are going to make a significant difference. I think it is about the approach, right? And the way they play and how sometimes they beat themselves in games and so forth. It's just very difficult to pinpoint without knowing the inner workings of the team. But it's very much obvious that, you know, things are far from ideal in the G2 camp, considering their track record ever since this roster was formed a year ago.
Yeah, and I honestly think, like, if you look on where G2 have their problems, because in Kiev they had their best of threes, which they won, but also we have mentioned that they've had problems in the past winning these best of threes. So I would suggest maybe start working on your map pool. That could be something that could help them improve. Because I don't really feel like, you know, G2, like, oh, you know, you have FaZe, you have Overpass, you have SK, like Cobblestone maybe. You have these maps, but for G2 it's hard to find one of those maps that maybe they are like super good on, which is their map to win basically in every best of three.
And at the moment it's Mirage, which isn't even what the leadership structure is kind of consistent. You know, it's a new leader and it does seem much more puggy than their other maps, and so yeah, lots of questions for them and lots of discussions for them to have. We do have a slight little light at the end of the tunnel, though. We do, of course, have a play faster moment by Vodafone, and I do believe Mr. Shoxy going into his surgery now, but he did manage to get himself the play faster moment from this series. It was over on that Mirage map. Look at that swift dispatch of NiP from that connector area, and even finding the fourth, in the form of Draken. Nice work from him with the hashtag play faster. Swift. Look at that. I like this. The third frag is where you realize he's converted that round single-handedly.
Yeah.
Against, what was that? Was there armor there? I'm pretty sure there was some armor there.
I don't know.
That didn't look like it, I think.
I'm giving him credit. I'm trying to give him some credit, guys. Okay, anyway, guys, let's go ahead and wrap this up because we've got a big series ahead of us. We're going to be talking all about it after our break. Cloud9 versus SK, becoming quite the North versus South, quite the historical matchup as Counter-Strike here in 2017 and 2018 continues to grow. And these teams are continuing to fall. Only one of them will manage to keep themselves in this tournament. Let's find out who after the break.
Intel Extreme Masters.